Okay, hello everyone. So welcome back. So today we are in episode 4 of Lounge Talks. I think firstly we need to start by apologizing for not
for the last
uploading.
for the last 2 weeks. Reason being, we were kind of
We
busy.
were kind of busy. I mean, so this one things about it, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
life gets in the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
but
that
life finds a way.
but life finds a way, and hence that's why we are back again this week, to talk. But before that, Ben, I think we need to talk about something. We're in a new place today. Where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we,
Where
guys?
are we? We are somewhere in Perth.
We are still somewhere in Perth. Okay.
But
Yeah.
you don't need to know that.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, I'm happy to share anyway.
Yeah.
We're actually in my apartment. So what happened is that like my sister actually she already moved back to Singapore already.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
and
fast.
then yeah. So she actually went back at the end of December. Yeah, and then so now this used to be her bedroom. So
Oh, right.
now
True,
we
true.
convert this room into like a podcasting studio, if anything. And then as you can see, it's a bit more professional in a way.
Yeah.
And shout out to one of our friends, Moses Chandran. He's a good man.
He's a good man.
Actually got these mics for me for like a Christmas gift. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that one day we do want to bring him onto the podcast to just like chat a bit more, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's one thing about it also.
At
Yeah.
that point, he needs to bring his own mic.
Yeah. We have to think about how to get a third mic.
Do you have
We'll
space?
think about it. We'll think about
You'll
it.
think about it.
Apparently can. You know what? So I literally when I got the mic, right? Okay, so let's share a bit of a story about the mic, okay? So when Moses got this mic for me, right, what he did was that he actually called me, I think literally on Boxing Day. And then he was telling me that, hey, I got a friend who's gonna start podcasting. Like, do you think that he would need, some sort of a mic or blah blah blah? What you need, or what would someone who start podcast need? At that point in time, I don't know why it didn't cross in my mind that it was me.
Oh.
Because look, I mean, we'll be honest. Like this day and age, right? Everyone's
people want
doing
to
it.
do-
A lot
yeah,
of people
yeah.
are doing it.
A
So
lot of
like,
people doing it.
I thought, okay, you know what? It's okay. Just another one of his friends. So I was like, I guess if someone's starting, the first thing that they would ever need is a mic. Because like either you're doing audio podcast or like video podcast, right? Most people would have some sort of like a phone to record their podcast, but you need a good mic. So that's why I was like, okay, so probably a mic is something that he would need. So that's what I told him. And then the funny thing was that he actually asked me, oh, like what are the mics that you recommend? That blah. He was in JB Hi-Fi. He was shopping already, and at the point in time, I didn't really know. I was still oblivious, to be honest. So he actually sent me like a few screenshots and whatnot. Then I was like, well, this mics might not be the best, I mean, I have limited experience, to be honest, but since a long time ago, right, I've always heard of the Blue Yeti mic. Okay, so this is the Blue Yeti mic that we have now. So that's the brand basically. Yeah, and I've always heard like, oh, like the audio is quite good. So I found on JB Hi-Fi, I screenshot him and I sent him, and I said, look, there's two colors of the mic. It comes in, I think at JB Hi-Fi, all right, it comes in two colors. It comes in black and blue, and I told him, look, black is probably an easier color that
Easier to use.
you can't go wrong with
The
black.
universal color.
Yeah, like with blue, maybe not. That kind of thing. I think he told me at the point, right, there's actually only blue available here. So I'm like, look, I think if you were to get blue, just get a gift receipt for your friend, just in case, like if they want to exchange it. And then this is what he told me. He said, if he's gonna return the gift, he's not my friend anymore. And at this point, I didn't know that it was me, if
Yeah,
anything. So I was just, and then one day I got a text message from one of the locums who's actually one of my friends, he was doing locum optometry, and then he was like in the store that I'm currently working at the moment. And then he said, hey, there's like a present here for you. So he said that he's going to leave it like somewhere, in the room so that I can still see it in a way. And then that's what really happened. So that he said he'll leave it on top of the cupboard. I said, okay, cool. The funny thing was that when I got back to work, right, because it's been like, I took like a week off on the first week of January. And when I got back, I didn't realize that there was a gift there. Literally.
You're like, it's just
Yeah.
a normal day at work.
Yeah, and to be honest, right, I think a few days in, like I saw the gift there, I had to look at it and I saw it was mine, but then I put it back up there because I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, I'll remember to take it home. Guess what? 2 weeks passed, I forgot to bring home for 2 weeks straight.
You just
So
left
one
it
day-
there. You just left it there. You're
I
like,
did,
What
I
is
did.
this, Syafiq?
I did, but it was heavy. Like these things are actually quite heavy, Yeah. So it is kind of a bit. So, but anyway, what happened, so right, was that one day Moses called me and like, hey, did you receive like a gift or a Christmas present, blah blah? I'm like, yeah, I think I did. It's somewhere at work, but I haven't bring it home yet. But then I was like, how did you know about it? So that was when it was. So that was when it was. We realized that. I was like, Moses, you buy something for me? Then he was like, maybe. I don't know.
Because like the funny
Maybe,
thing is,
bro.
the
Maybe.
funny thing is, I'm pretty sure like this was also during Boxing Day. He called me at like 10 in the morning.
Yep.
I was just like, I know you guys are doing a podcast. What kind of gifts should we get? And I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Okay. I see. Yeah. So that's what happened, and then once we got the microphone, honestly, I did unbox it the day that I brought it home, which was sometime I think last week, but I only started the experiment with this like today. So like this morning, I was just searching on YouTube, how do I connect two USB microphone to a Mac so that it can work? And then so like, and here we are. You know, so it's a bit long-winded story just to share with you guys a bit of like life updates. You know, this is the now recording this just to be transparent is the third week of January now, is it? Third week of January, and then I'm back at work. You're back in uni now, so. Ben, give us an update. Like, what's been happening with your life over the new year with uni? Yeah, what's happening?
With uni, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, trying to get the proposal done. We just had a few conversations about conferences. Apparently, I might get to go to London at the end of the year. Just to do like a conference there.
Nice.
And then I just started looking up all the price and all that for tickets, accommodation. The conference itself costs like $600. But then all the flights is like 1,300, 1,400 return, and I'm like, that's a lot of money.
It is, isn't it?
It is a lot of money.
Yeah,
but
it is.
But then because we're part of like doing like a PhD and things, you get covered with a bit of travel award, so you get a bit of travel allowance. So it should cover that. But if any like accommodation sort of expense, we might have to cover ourselves.
Okay. Well, I guess it's good that at least like the uni is still covering like part of the thing, you know, so that at least it's not too burdensome on you like financial wise. But how's it like? Like, are they like covering like every? I mean, is the conference going to be something that you're just attending, or are you going to be presenting, or like what's going to happen for it?
We hope that we can present something. So the plan is to try and get something before December.
Yes.
To publish something before then. But we don't know if that's possible yet.
I see. Okay.
We'll work it out along the way.
True.
We'll work it out.
True.
And then, from March onwards, we should have something coming up.
There we go.
So yeah, hopefully from March onwards, something might come up.
Yeah.
Maybe in like 2-3 months. I don't know.
Keep on the lookout, guys. Keep on the lookout. If you want to know, you have to keep following us in this podcast,
yes.
and then
it's not clickbait. It's not clickbait.
Yeah.
It will happen. It will happen eventually.
It will. You know. Yeah. I mean, okay. But one thing of this episode that we must acknowledge, and the viewers might be wondering, we don't have plushies today. I honestly forgot. Yeah. I knew it. Okay. So what?
I actually forgot about the podcast.
Yeah. So
because I actually had a meeting before this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shoot. I forgot my plushies. I left it at home.
It's okay. This things happens, guys.
It's okay. Next time, episode 5. We'll have
next time, hopefully, we have a few plushies and whatnot. You
can hang some.
Yeah. You know what? Like, that was an interesting thing. So, like, just before this podcast episode, Yasmin and I were doing like kind of like a mock kind of like setup, you know, and we were like, when we review the videos, there's like a space, you know. So we're like, you know, it's like something that we actually can put something up here.
We should put a green screen so you can put whatever you want.
Oh my god, idea. Okay, something for us to think about.
Just
hopefully we'll get it done. In the previous episode, we had a TV behind us. But who knows? Maybe we can put something else on here. We never know.
Bring the TV over, guys.
So yeah, if anything, of course, we are still trying to learn how to do. Most of the videos, I mean, so far the videos that you guys have seen, right? It's just like literally straight out of the camera. We upload it straight away.
Yeah.
But I think this is the first episode that we're gonna be editing it a bit, just because like the audio and the video is like taken by different cameras and. We are just trying to see if it works, basically, you know. Yeah. So hopefully everything works well. Yeah.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah. So
do a bit of like subtle edits here and there.
Yeah.
Throw a few memes.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll definitely see how it goes. Yeah. So today our episode is gonna be pretty interesting also. Because we're gonna be talking again about eyes. This is what the podcast is about, right? And we're gonna be talking about like debunking some myths about the eyes. So I feel like in our day and age, right, there's just so many myths out there about eyes, this and that, and like
A lot of alternate facts.
a lot of the alternate facts and whatnot. And honestly, some of it, right, I myself heard about it when I was young. So it's not something new that we are hearing about,
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, Ben, that maybe we can start to shed some light on eating carrots. Okay.
It's good. Eat your veggies.
Eat your veggies, okay, especially if there's kids or you guys watching videos, eat your veggies. But does carrots make our vision better, Ben? Like, yeah, so what's the buzz about it?
Yeah, like from my understanding, like technically yes, because it contains a lot of vitamin A.
Yeah.
And also has what we call beta carotene. The only downside of that is if you're a smoker. So that's the only contraindication. Basically, what that means is
what do you mean? Yeah.
Like a how would you phrase that as layman terms? Contraindication.
Yeah, contraindication basically is something that you shouldn't do if you have a certain thing. So in this case, does that mean that if you're a smoker, you shouldn't eat carrots?
Yeah, because there's not like a huge amount.
Okay.
You have a little bit, but wasn't that because there's studies out there that showed people who smoke and then took a particular supplement that contained a lot of vitamin A or like beta carotene.
Yes.
And they developed lung cancer from it.
Oh wow.
So that's why if you ever heard of the ARAT supplement, so ARATs one contain beta carotene, but then they found out people who ate those had a bit of lung cancer or like reported cases of lung cancer. And then for ARATs 2, like the new supplements, that one removed beta carotene and put something else in.
Yes.
So yeah, technically that's the only like thing that if you have or you are a smoker, that's something that you should be a bit aware of. So speak to a health professional.
This is actually very interesting because, guys, I'll be honest with you guys. Like some of these things, yes, like when we come out with episodes, right, we do have like some talking points. But then again, like if we ourselves have something new that we want to share, we just like share it in this. Honestly, I had no idea about that. But there's something really interesting that like smokers and carrots, something that they should be a bit more wary about. But that doesn't mean that things like eating green leafy vegetables. We know that those are rich in antioxidants like blueberries, blackberries. These are all food that are good for the macula, which is the central of the eye. So I think in terms of those food, is definitely a yes. But first myth about carrots, yes. So it's kind of like debunked there for you guys. It's a myth about the fact that yes, carrots can make your vision better because all fruits in fact is good, but in terms of carrots, yes, like what Ben had mentioned about the nutrients and all that, one thing we know about carrots also in regards to vitamin A and all that, it does help with like things like night vision also. So someone who sometimes do have some night vision issues and all that, recommended to eat carrots, but carrots does not really equal to perfectly healthy eyesight because if it does, Ben and I would not be wearing glasses and we would be out of job.
I guess like the main take home message there is do things in moderation.
Yeah, true.
So like don't go ham and buy like 10 packs of carrots and start eating it. But like as long as you have moderation of your diet, like your eyes will be fine.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Okay. Now, going down to the second thing, that I think personally I like to talk about this is LASIK can cure myopia. Okay. So if you guys want to know, the answer is...
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. What are my thoughts? Answer is no. Okay. All right. So I think we have to understand the whole concept about like myopia in a way, all right? Which is that myopia is a condition where you see things blurry in the distance, but it's a condition where your eyeball grows longer. Now, what happens when you do LASIK surgery is that the surgeon basically cuts a part of the front part of your eye, which is we know as the cornea. So it cuts enough of the cornea, right, to match the prescription of your glasses. So that's why you don't need glasses anymore. So if you're saying it technically in terms of vision correction, yes, it does correct your vision, but you still do have myopia in the sense that your eyes have already grown longer. You see? Yeah, so is this misconception of that, once I've done LASIK, I do not have to worry about being like short-sighted, blah, blah, blah. vision wise, true, you do not need glasses, you do not need contact lenses, but however, if you're someone who have like very high myopia, right, you still have to go in for your regular yearly checkup just to make sure that the health of
It's
your
still
eyes is
okay.
healthy.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's something that we really have to take note in a way, you know? Yeah.
Speaking of health, they found something
Yes.
in my eye the other day.
Oh.
Shout out to Eye
Yeah.
Health Center WA.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah,
okay.
I had an eye test over there
Yes.
last Monday.
Yeah.
And then because it was all the students there, so they tested my eyes. It felt good actually. It felt good like being on the recipient end of like how the students are growing throughout the course. Definitely room for improvements, but overall was quite good. But they found like this small little. They either suspect it's a retinal hole or lattice degeneration. So at first, I kind of freaked out. I was like, wait, do I need to see the specialist for this? And they're like, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. We see you in 6 months. We can do photos for you in 6 months. Yeah. So unfortunately, the whole thing with myopia, the whole thing, the eyes getting longer,
Yes.
basically just puts you at a lot of risk.
Yes, that's right.
So that's because I'm pretty sure this is something that you're more focused on, more interested.
Yeah.
That's why we are aiming for myopia kind of management, myopia control,
Yes.
just to prevent like things happening further down the road.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean, one day, you know, if you guys are keen, we're definitely gonna do an episode about like myopia, and in the episode, I think that I'm gonna be talking like 90% of the time.
I'll just be like sitting here.
Ben
like,
will just be sitting at chair.
I'll just twiddling my
yeah.
thumbs.
Yeah. No, but I mean, one reason why also, I mean, as we've talked about it, like I'm really super passionate about like myopia and stuff, and that's something that even, you know, so one thing about me now, right, on my days off, Ben, like sometimes people ask me like, what do I do for fun, and sometimes I can't really answer them because like I feel like I sound a bit like of a nerd when I say that to them, like, oh, I read up on myopia stuff.
I read up stuff.
And it's true, like that's literally what I do, you know. Yeah. And the things that some people find that, oh, is it like I'm doing job, you know, on my day off, like I actually truly like enjoy it in a way because like it's something that I personally am attached to it because I myself have like short-sightedness, have myopia since like a very young age, and it's something that like I want to help the community, or if not the whole world, with it, you know, as with what we know, like the World Health Organization, they have now recognized myopia as like a pandemic, saying that by the year 2050, half of the world global population is going to be short-sighted. So this is where I feel that like as an optometrist myself, who's especially passionate in this area, this is something that I just want to go a bit more into, you know, and to be able to help as many people as I can, basically. Yeah, so, you know, just putting out like content out there a bit more about myopia, you know, and of course it's something that like I'm really keen and like very passionate on. So it's just easy, like you can literally talk to me hours and hours about myopia, but of course we won't bore you guys about that because, you know, we don't want that to happen. But yeah, it's just 20-hour episode on just myopia. We'll talk everything. No. But you know, like as time goes by over time, yeah, I definitely do want to put out more content about myopia just to bring a bit more about awareness about it, because at this day and age we are really lucky, Ben, because just to touch a bit on it, right? When I was young, right, and I'm pretty sure when you were too, all right, we were brought up at the age, especially for me, right? So this was back. So just to show my age, I'm gonna turn 31 in 2 months' time. Okay, yes, I'm gonna turn 31. So I'm
old.
I'm not as young as I look. Yeah, but anyway, like the main thing about it was that like, so I remember when I was 8 years old, wearing my first pair of glasses, right? I did not had this option of like myopia management back then. It was not a thing. Yeah, so back then, if your vision is bad, you just update your glasses. Okay, and then a year goes by, your vision is worse, you just update your prescription. You just keep doing that over and over again, you know. And I think we're living at a really lucky time. We are really living in a good time because yes, although there's more screens and devices that actually causes your vision to get worse, but there are treatment options that is being like researched and investigated, and some of those which have been proven to slow down short-sightedness. So this is actually a very interesting time of our life, if anything, you know. So
this
something
is like the wonders of emerging medicine. But then like on the other hand, you always get that other end of the spectrum who like completely don't believe in it. And then but like, so always trying to convince them like it works, but then especially I'm pretty sure you have some patients or like some parents who just absolutely refuse like what you tell them, but then you try to bring out the best evidence.
That's right. Yeah.
But then like at the end of the day, it's really up to the parents.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, I have once saw this thing where it's kind of this graph that shows that in the early phase of a new technology or new research, right? Although there's compelling evidence for it, there are always early adopters in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it will reach a stage, right, where like there'll be more people who will eventually accept
try
it.
it,
So I feel like myopia management at this point of our life, it's still at that peak where
Baby
it's
phase,
slowly
still
growing
baby
up.
phase.
Yeah, it's flat to slowly growing up because there's more awareness about it. Yeah, and then like I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident, right? This is a prediction, if anything, but in 5 to 10 years, all right, at most 15 years, right? Myopia management is gonna be like a common thing that everyone's gonna know and everyone's gonna talk about. Yeah, because like at this point now we are educating parents plus most of the kids, and these kids are mainly like 8, 9, 10, even 15. In 10 years down the time, or 15 years, they are going to be parents.
Yep.
And when their kids are short-sighted, they will know what to do about it. Okay. Yeah. So I would love to talk more about myopia, but we don't want to make this a myopia topic just yet. So if
can
you
do
guys
it
are
in the
keen,
next
stay tuned.
few episodes.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Let's talk about this. Blue light blocking lenses. Does it help to prevent eye diseases, Ben? Does it?
Are we talking money or are we talking?
No.
Yeah,
we
like-
have to be real to our
yeah,
audience.
but like this is the whole point of real lounge talks. We keep it real. So yeah, honestly, there's just limited evidence to show blue light preventing any like eye health complications. There is a lot of placebo effect. Basically, what that means is people wear it and they think there is an effect.
Yeah.
So actually, one of my friends tried the blue light lenses, and he felt like things like improves his vision by like 2 folds. He kind of felt like there's less strain on the computer, but quite a few studies out there showed like there's no real difference between like with and without. But unfortunately, with like the whole like corporate sense of things, like they will try and push it. But who knows? Maybe in like 5-10 years, there might be studies out there that show like blue light lenses can help prevent eye health disease. But it's only at that point that we'll actively recommend, just because at the moment there's limited evidence. It's not something that, not scientifically based, but we recommend things.
That's right.
Unless if there is compelling evidence in the next 5 to 10 years that says yes, definitely, with no like corporate biases, no money biases, with just full on scientific fact like yes or no. Then at that point we will try and recommend and all that.
That's right.
But yeah, just at the moment with what evidence we have now, there's not a lot that we can say.
Yes,
other than,
I agree.
It doesn't really work.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think one thing that, when my patients ask me about this, right? Like even till now, like patients still ask about blue light lenses.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's getting a bit less and less over time. But one thing I realized is that like they always think that it's something that can help to protect their eyes from getting like eye conditions and blah blah blah. And in fact, I did read in the UK, right? There was I wasn't sure, was it probably an optician or was it one of the sales representative in the store that actually recommended blue light lenses, saying that it prevents macular degeneration. We know that this is not true. Now, one thing though, which is the benefit of blue light lenses that we can say is true and has been proven, is it helps to improve what we call circadian rhythm. So for those of you guys who are not aware what circadian rhythm is, it's basically like your sleep and wake up pattern in a way, because as humans, right? Yes, we tend to sleep, of course, at night, and then we wake up in the morning. Now, naturally, when throughout our day in the morning, we get blue light from the sun. That's one thing people don't know. So one of the biggest source of blue light is actually the sun. Okay,
You're just closing your eyes from now on. Like, I'm not going out again.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and okay, this one I would have to fact check, but I think I read somewhere something like the amount of blue light we get from the sun, right, is about 80 times more than what we get on our regular screens like phones or laptop. Yeah. So in other words, like it would take a long amount of time in order for the laptop to really cause any kind of like damage to your eyes in a way, all right? Yeah, but of course this is not to say you can just go crazy and keep looking at screens. It's not that, but it's to say that blue light is something that's more natural throughout our whole day-to-day activities, if anything. Yeah, and the reason why blue light lenses, when you wear it, right, it helps with circadian rhythm is because naturally, even as humans throughout evolution, right, as the sun goes down, eventually we develop candles and fire, you know. Fire, as we know, is a bit more warm kind of color, or even candles. And that's the reason why when you wear those glasses, everything appears a bit more warm.
Yeah.
And that's why it helps with circadian rhythm. Yeah, so if we know like a lot of our phones these days, even iPhones or Samsung, it has like this like night mode where it makes everything a bit more orange. Yeah, and hence that's what really helps, you know, in
Helps
terms of like helps you to go to sleep, but it doesn't help to protect your eyes from eye diseases. So
Yeah.
there's a differentiation there.
Yeah, like the main thing it's use your sunglasses.
Oh yeah, when you're
so
outside
like,
for sure.
yeah, for sure, just use your sunglasses. It cuts down basically everything.
Yeah,
Cuts down all your UV, all the harmful
UVA,
UV.
UVB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that UVC?
I think there is.
There is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I think the more harmful one is A and B in
Yeah.
the sense that most
It penetrates,
glasses,
yeah.
it has to at least have that minimum level of protection. Even some contact lenses actually have UV
Oh, yeah, I saw,
protection also,
yeah,
you
yeah.
see? Yeah, so that's how much UV is now becoming more of a thing where, especially here in Australia, right? It's the UV index is actually like relatively high compared to like other parts of the world or some parts of the world, I would say. Yeah, so it's very important like when we go out, make sure to have like proper protection for ourselves.
Yeah.
Very important.
Slip, slop, slap.
Yes. There you go. There you go, guys.
Back in high school. Back in high school. What was it? Like
Yeah.
slip. Wait,
Yeah.
what was it?
I,
Slip,
I,
slop,
I,
slap.
I was
I've
born
no
in
idea.
Singapore, so
I've-
I don't know, but
no
I
idea.
have heard about it. I have
no
heard about
idea.
it. Yeah.
We're gonna fact check this
Yeah.
and put it in the comments.
Okay, yeah. If you guys know what Ben was talking about, which I think he got it right the first time around,
Is it?
just put it in the comments down
I've,
below.
I've no idea. I
Okay,
forgot.
he had no idea, guys, but yeah. But
Hmm.
okay. Anyway, we're gonna move on a bit more, just to be open. If you guys want to share, we actually have a laptop in front of us here that you can't see, but this is where we are looking at our notes. Okay, just in case you're wondering why I'm extending my arm. All right. Okay, next we're gonna talk about eye health myth persists and combating misinformation. Wow. Okay.
That's a heavy topic.
It is actually, yeah. Why eye health myth persists, and why are we trying to combat it in a way? Well, I think one thing, right? I mean, for sure, as optometrists ourselves, it's about making the right education there available and making sure all the information that we share, right, is true. Because you wouldn't want it to be such that, oh, I heard from my friend, blah blah blah, and then they do that, and then thinking that it's right. Like one thing that I can think of now, right, is that I had a patient before who came in for an eye test. He had whole burns on the retina, which is on the center part of his eye, and guess why?
Looking at the sun.
There you go. We know straight away. And because so he said that when he was a kid, when he was young, right, he and his friends, they used
did a
to
competition.
believe that it was like a competition that who
Oh.
can stare at the sun the longest, all right, will have like the strongest eyes. So he did that, all right. I can't recall if I did ask him how long, he stared at the sun for, but what we know is that it must be for quite
very
a
long
while.
time, yeah.
Because if he
He's
had
very consistent as well. Like he must have done it quite a few times for damage to happen.
precisely,
Yeah.
So I think these are the kind of things you want to making sure that it doesn't really happen, yeah. How about from a research perspective, Ben? Is there anything that why we wouldn't want this myth to spread in a way?
Yeah, it's just we did like a research integrity thing. So basically, what that means is, in the research world, there's two kinds of journals. One of it is like a predatory journal, where they just publish whatever they want as long as you pay them. Another one, it's more like peer reviewed, a lot more scientific in a sense. So it's more rigorous in their process of screening all the articles, making sure things are legit, making sure things are what they actually say they are. So in that aspect, because I'm actually not too sure as well, because I just started. That's something I had to probably read up on.
We will,
But like in that sense, in the whole medical field, there's always those two different types of journals. They even have a massive lecture that they had is don't go to predatory journals. Whenever you publish, make sure you just ask someone before you publish, like either your superiors, your supervisors, a librarian. They would know which one is which. So the whole point of a predatory journal, probably from that sense, is since anyone can publish anything, even as long as they pay them. So probably from that stand, there's not enough filtering of articles. So whatever they want to publish, no matter what they find, it's out there. That's like the good and bad about having such a wide internet spread of things. Basically, you can find literally anything now on the internet.
True.
So you want to find recipes for something, it's there. If you want to search something, it's there. But then on the whole medical point of view, it's you probably get like the first 3 articles as being legit. So probably like super rigorous test. They all know what they're talking about. But then you scroll down a little bit more and then you start seeing one particular article that says, oh, I disagree with everyone else.
Oh,
This is what I think. And then
wow.
someone clicks on it, and then this is the whole snowballing effect. So
I
one person
see.
clicks on it, he or she shares this article to everyone in the same like WhatsApp group or messenger group, and then that one spreads and then keeps spreading, and then now basically like it spreads that one particular misinformation where everybody receives the wrong info, and then they all start believing in this wrong info and they start convincing everyone else. So that's like the whole snowball effect there.
There you go.
So this is important to know what articles that you see. Because whenever you see articles, you always have the authors. So make sure like their credentials are kind of legit, so like they know what they're talking about. Make sure it's like .org or .au or like government, because that's also when you know things are probably legit. Like World Health Organization guidelines, that's also when you know things are probably legit. So just don't go believing everything in the internet. That's the whole idea of things. Like try and think about if 10 people say, or like let's say 9 out of 10 people say yes, and then this one particular person says no, but kind of weigh it out a bit. So if 9 people with very high credibility says yes, this is what's happening, one person who just says nah, I'm not believing this, let me do my own thing, and then he starts gathering followers. He kind of feels like, oh, I know what I'm doing, I'm an expert in my field. So just keep an eye. Keep an eye out on all those things.
Yeah, and sometimes these people can be quite charismatic. For instance, like there was a YouTube channel that I saw, right, where basically there was this one person who was actually advocating for ending short. Was it some kind of eye condition? I'm not sure. Was it myopia or was it something else? But basically, by doing things like, for instance, eye exercises. Now, this is a really huge topic. Eye exercises, does it help with like perfecting your vision? And there are some methods, which I think there are some which is called like the Bates method and all this, where they actually try to like naturally reduce the short-sightedness and whatnot over time. Yeah, and then like claiming that like it definitely does work in a way. And one of the reason where they actually try to prove it, right, is that try to do these few things over and over again. Over time will get better. But as we know, Ben, as optometrists, and we see in our practices, that like for individuals, right, who are actually in their 20s to 30s or even 30s to 40s and older, like sometimes when they develop like cataracts and things or whatnot, right, sometimes their prescription can shift one way or the other. So sometimes it might not be what they were doing with the eye exercises is working, but it's just the natural changes.
Yeah, it's the natural changes.
It's just the natural changes of the lens in the eyes, if anything, that causes those changes. And they claim that, like I have the perfect formula. Like for instance, a lot of my patients who are like with very low myopic prescription, right? Like with maybe minus 150 or minus 1, when they hit their 40s or early 40s, right? Most of them suddenly have like pretty good vision. Like a minus 050, minus 025. And then
they go like, oh, I've been doing a lot of eye exercises.
Yeah, and then, but we know that that's because of natural change in the lens of the eye. So I think this is just a few things that we have to be wary about. And again, I think Google is a really good source of information generally for most things. But if someone wants to get more specific information about certain thing, they should visit or they should definitely consult with someone who's a specialty in their field. For instance, if you want to know a bit more about a certain kind of for instance, to do with eyes, you go and visit your optometrist, and then like if you want to know something more to do with your feet, like what kind of shoes are the best, visit a podiatrist. And then if you want to know something about like straightening your teeth or teeth whitening, you go to a dentist or an orthodontist, for instance. So so there are really specific things that like as individuals, yes, I think Google is a good like starting point, but never take that as a
As the
fact,
full answer.
as the full answer, if anything, because you never know if like there maybe is something else behind it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the whole point of the whole vaccine causes autism thing. So basically, the person who published it actually received funding from this particular corporate to disprove everyone else. But then once that happened, so once he published his article, everybody started believing it. But then that's the whole point. People still believe like vaccine causes autism, even though there's been like multiple studies that says no, like that's not the case. This guy was funded. That's why he published what he published. But then, like as we know, that has a lot of lasting impacts on the whole medical field. So just make sure you know. Make sure you go to reputable sites.
There you go, guys. There you go. Yeah. So those are things we have to make sure, you know, we proactively check, you know, and see how things go from there. Yeah. All right. And one of the last points we're going to be talking about today is proactive eye health management. All right. Yeah.
Use
so
your eyes.
things that we can do.
You can save your eyes by using your eyes.
True. You know, I think it's one of those things like, you know, when I talk to some old people, right? There are some who are like coming in for the eye test, they're in their 70s and they look like they are struggling to walk. And then there are some who are in their like mid 90s who are still like walking and talking fine. And then when I ask them, I mean, I asked the one who's in like in the 90s, like, what's your secret? Yeah, like, and then she just said things like, look, I swim 3 times a week. You know, I make sure I walk every single day, and it sounds like it's a bit. It's something that you think about it. Oh, you thought the more you use, then the worse it'll get. But it's actually a bit of the opposite in a way, where if you stop doing things that you naturally would, right, it seems that things are gonna go in the other direction. So I guess that's one thing about the eyes too, in a way, is it?
Yeah. You're like, wait, why can't I see now?
Yeah.
But a lot of things just happen as age progresses. So there's no like real cure it all kind of method. It's just as long as you have a moderation of everything. So moderate diet, have enough leafy greens, antioxidants. Don't spend too much time outdoors. So definitely don't look at the sun. Wear sunglasses, things like that. Get your eyes tested every year. If you have an eye condition, we'll let you know if you need it more regularly.
Yeah.
But usually 65 and over, we say every year. 65 and under, every 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, I guess one thing that I always tell my patients is that, well, firstly, in terms of taking good care of your eyes, make sure you come for your regular eye test. And I do agree with you with that fact that in terms of, you know, I mean, one good thing in Australia is that there is Medicare, and with Medicare, you know, in terms of how frequent they pay for full eye checks and all that, we are actually quite lucky to be in Australia where, like what you mentioned, anyone above 65 actually do get a full eye test, you know, that's paid out like once a year, you know, and I would say that if you're above 65, you should go for your eye test. I mean, I wouldn't say should, but like it's highly recommended,
Highly recommended.
that you go for your eye test every year, okay? And then, you know, there are those who are younger and then they always ask, oh, like how frequent should I come in for my eye examination? And my answer is always pretty simple. Look, generally we would recommend like 2 years, unless you do have a certain eye condition that we're maybe monitoring. So basically go with what your optometrist would recommend, you know. So for instance, like, you know, if you do have like short-sightedness or you have a history of it, or even sometimes your eyes are perfectly healthy but maybe you have a history of glaucoma, you know, in your family, like your parents or your grandparents have it, you know. So with all these different things, like sometimes there's reasons why your optometrist will call you back in once a year although your eyes are healthy, because just to check to make sure that like everything's going to be fine. Because as we know with all eye conditions or any condition in the body, right, the faster we find out about it, the faster we can treat it, you know. Yeah, so if anything, prevention, as we know, is always better than cure in a way. Yeah, so I think those are some of the things we should definitely consider.
Basically, the main take-home message is make sure you get your eyes tested.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and also I think these days, you know, there's a lot of like educational resources that's available also. Of course, it's important, like what you mentioned, you know, to make sure you find reputable sources to get all this information from. I guess most government websites, you know, do have some sort of information about it. And honestly, these days, right, I can even say like things like, yes, YouTube might be one of those things that, oh, you're not sure if you can really trust all the information there. But if you have a look at maybe the people who are giving these advices, right? If because there's a lot of them, there's a lot of like even doctors, these days who are on YouTube who are actually sharing very useful information. So as long as they have like a proper credential in a way, yeah, it's good to get like those kind of like advice in a way. But of course, nothing beats going and seeing your local eye care professional. I mean, not only eye care, but your local optometrist, your local podiatrist, your local physiotherapist, yeah, just to get like make sure that those things what they have recommended is most suited for you in a way. Yeah, so I think that's very important for us also. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that was that one episode, right?
Yeah.
With Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike.
Isn't that the doctor that's on YouTube?
Yes,
right?
he's one of them. Yes, he's one of them. Yeah.
I saw his podcast recently. He had this one episode where he invited one of the other doctors who kind of believes in the more alternate path of things.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah, but and like and like that episode became really, really heated.
Yeah.
He started having like talks about smoking and not having dementia and all that. And then Dr. Mike comes in, because they die before they get all of these diseases. That's why they don't have that much. So, I guess in that point of sense, it's although what the result shows, it's you also have to kind of think about why that's happening.
Yes.
That's something that I learned as just part of research. It's don't take everything as face value. Like kind of think about what's kind of going on behind the scenes as to why things are happening.
Yeah, so I think that's it's definitely a valid point that like, not just taking all the information just as it is in a way.
Yeah.
And of course, with the fact that all of us, our eyes are different, our our like legs, our hands, our feet, like the way we move, like everything's really different in a way. Yeah, so just to take notes of those things. Yeah. And I think the other thing also talking about like lifestyle choices, like what you mentioned was really important, which is like keep using them, which is in this case, like spend time outdoors, spend time like using your eyes, using your muscles. I mean, like even going to the gym and all these kind of things. Like if you don't use your muscle will get weaker in a way. Yeah. And of course, this is a bit contradictory to one of the things that we are going to cover in the future, which is about presbyopia, as we know, Yeah, so one day, guys, we will definitely talk about it. But presbyopia, unfortunately, is one of those eye conditions where you can't train the eye muscle to read when you're close up, Who knows? One day they might find a cure for it, but as for now, I don't think there's really anything that's concrete. There are though some eye jobs that like they are trying to do now.
Improved,
which is to get the proof to help with like your short vision reading in a way when you're above 40 years old. But what this eye drop do actually, right? It creates a pinhole effect of your eyes, right? So what pinhole means, is basically like if you have blurry vision, right? And if you actually look through a really small hole, if you like maybe cut a paper, a really small hole, and you look through it, you can actually see clearer. So there are some eye drops which aims to use this benefit to make the pupils really small, so that like generally they can still see far as per normal, but then when they look up close, things are really clear. But of course, it's still undergoing trials, mostly in the US, if anything. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe one day that is something that might come over here.
Probably.
Yeah. So
maybe in the
that's
next
something.
5 years, probably.
Who know? Yeah, probably thereabouts. Yeah, and then next thing I think also about like protective measures, things like wearing sunglasses. It's very important. Like what you mentioned just now, it protects from UVA, UVB, all of those things. Yeah, so that's something that we should definitely take note of. And then. Because again, like with those contact lenses, right? I have actually seen that my patients who wear contact lenses, especially there's this one brand. I'm gonna mention the brand, but they're not sponsoring us for this video, guys. Just so you know,
Starts with
it's
A.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll just share the brand anyway because the brand is doing good things. So in terms of the lens, is the AccuView lens, right? So these AccuView contact lenses, right? Yes, it does have like UV protection in them, and I do have patients who are like been wearing the AccuView lens for like a very long time, and like their cataracts when they're in their 60s, right? It's so minimal. It's so minimal. I was like, what lenses are you wearing? And then they're like, oh, I've been wearing AccuView for a long time. So I guess like having UV protection in your contact lenses, especially if you're someone who wear it every single day, can be something that's beneficial also. You know, yeah. So of course, on top of that, they still do wear their sunglasses. Yeah, so that is still like a thing that you do have to do. You know, you don't have to like, oh, so I wear contact lenses, so I don't have to wear sunglasses. Nah, like you still have to in a way. Yeah, so that's just something we have to take note of.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
True.
And I think our last point to bring it home, you know, that it says that we have to encourage you guys to be proactive in your eye health and advocate for eye health awareness in the community. And it's true, and that's why we are doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more education. That's why we do it as real lounge talks. We should do it as real education.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, who knows? One day we might get a sponsor for a lounge. Okay. Hey, you know what? What if
IKEA, please
idea.
sponsor us.
idea, right? Like, we won't take any sponsorship from any optical companies, but we might take anyone else who like give us lounge. You know,
Hey,
lounge.
actually,
Like we might, you know.
Can
we still don't have a lounge.
Please share. Please
Yeah,
share.
please share, please.
Honestly, please share. Please share.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, so it's just one of those things, yeah. But anyway, I think it's pretty much bring us to the end of this episode, you know, where, yeah, so I think it's pretty nice that we managed to, like, you know, have a bit of a chat about, like, what's happening with our lives. And then we also managed to talk about, like, I have myths. You know why?
Cut that out.
My tongue is very dry at the moment. As you can see, like, this one is, like, finishing, you know, yeah. But basically, yeah, I have health myths. Okay, now I'm saying it the right way. Okay, yeah.
We'll cut that bit out.
Yeah. We'll try to edit, but maybe we won't. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so definitely stay tuned, guys, for future episodes where we're definitely gonna be going through more things, you know, and then we'll just see how things go from there. Yeah. Anything from yourself, Ben? Final words for the audience today?
No, not really. Just stay healthy, I guess.
Yeah.
Have a happy new year.
Yeah.
Because, wait, it's in 3 weeks. Chinese New Year is in 3 weeks.
Oh, man.
Or
yeah.
Lunar New Year, as they call it here.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's in 3 weeks. So,
Yeah.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy
We should
New
do
Year,
one
everyone.
episode where we all wear red. Like, red everywhere.
We can try, man.
We
We
can
can
try.
try.
We can
Like,
try.
like it's not possible. Okay, but I must warn you, I don't have anything red. So
It's okay,
maybe
I can
if you
lend- I
have
can lend- I can
okay,
lend
you can lend me maybe a jacket or something.
Yeah,
I can wear.
that works. That works.
Okay, yeah. Okay, guys. So that's all for today's episode. Of course, if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment down below if there's anything you want to ask myself or Ben. We'll try to be as honest as possible if you ask personal questions. But if it has anything to do with like eye health, we can be real about it. Okay, we can be real about it. So don't worry. Yeah.
Don't ask us about anything else personal.
Yeah. Ken, maybe a bit.
Maybe a little
Maybe
bit.
just a little bit.
Maybe a
Okay,
little bit.
maybe
Like
just
a
a little bit.
tiny
Like a
little
tiny
bit.
bit. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.